Assalamu alaikum student, welcome to science class. Today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 13. The name of our chapter 13 is natural resources. In our today's lecture we are going to learn about the definition of resources, the classification of resources and the differences between natural resources and man-made resources. At first, what is resources? Resources are something that can be used by people for support or help. I am using this marker or I am using this whiteboard for taking your class, so these two things are my resources. Now we are going to discuss about the classification of resources. We can divide our resources into two classes. Number one is natural resources and number two is man-made resources. The definition of natural resources is a resource found in nature that people can use to meet their needs. Such as sunlight, wind, oil, etc. We use these types of resources for making new things. And man-made resources, a resource that is not made by nature but made by people, such as paper, which comes from woods, glass comes from silicon, houses comes from woods. Our next topic is differences between natural resources and man-made resources. Here we have some differences between these two types of resources. First one is natural resource found in nature that people can use to meet their needs. This is also our definition of natural resources. Man-made resources, a resource that is not made by nature but made by people. Second difference is natural resources are renewable and non-renewable. Natural resources can be both types. It can be renewable, such as sunlight, wind, water, or it can be non-renewable resource also, such as natural gas, oil, coal. These types of resources we can't renew them. And man-made resources, they are always renewable. Number three is it doesn't depend on man-made resources. Natural resources such as sunlight or wind, these resources doesn't depend on man. And man-made resource, obviously they always depend on natural resources, because we collect natural resources and we artificially produce different things from natural resources. Number four is natural resource cannot be produced as per our will. We can't produce sunlight or we can't produce wind. So definitely natural resource cannot be produced as per our will. But we can make different types of houses, bridge, culvert. So man-made resources can be produced as our own will. Some example of natural resources are sunlight, soil, natural gas, coal, oil, etc. And the example of man-made resource are paper, plastic, glass, electricity, etc. Thank you. So student, our last topic is wise use of natural resources. How can we use our natural resources wisely? We can follow two steps. Number one step is we can use alternative resources instead of non-renewable energy resources, and a second step is we can use our uses of natural resource wisely. So here we have 2 points that how can we use our natural resource wisely. Number one is renewable resources can be used as alternative resources, such as solar electricity. We can produce electricity with the help of sunlight instead of electricity produced from coal or natural gas. We should avoid non-renewable resources. And our second point is we should reduce, reuse and recycle our natural resources. If we follow these two steps, then we can reduce the environment pollution also. So that is the end of our today's lecture. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.